Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about ICP, specifically a warning signal that is just about to flash across the whole crypto market that could potentially negatively impact some of your altcoins. Let's dive in. So before we get into the video, if you haven't already, please do consider hitting that subscribe button and clicking that notification bell. Really helps me out, guys. It's a relatively new channel and we're trying to grow it. So any engagements you can give me are much appreciated. So let's dive in. So I'm going to move myself out of the way here, make my face smaller. So ICP itself, we're going to go through a couple of charts that I've got on my screen, but before we do that, we've got something here that's going to affect basically the whole crypto market regardless of what the chart of ICP actually does, and that's on the Bitcoin chart here, right? So we've got a couple of things here. The first one here is we've got a small bearish divergence forming here on the daily time frame, where we're making higher highs in the price and lower highs in the RSI, which basically means that you're due for one of two things. The most probable outcome is either a pullback or at least some choppy sideways price action, or at the very least a slowdown in the actual rally. So this has now printed now, so that is now a very likely outcome. However, that's not the key thing. Like, these bearish divergences, they do happen quite often and they are a warning signal, but this is quite a small one. The real warning signal here is actually quite paradoxical, because we're about to have a bullish cross on the daily time frame here on the 200 SMA and the 50 SMA. And a bullish cross, or a golden cross as sometimes they're called, sounds like quite a bullish thing, and in the long term they are. However, what you see when these lines cross, oftentimes in the crypto market, when these lines cross, you often see the opposite, a pullback, right? Because everyone sees this, everyone on Twitter is talking about it, and then everyone gets bullish, but then obviously the market does the opposite then and get everyone wrecked. So let's go through a couple of examples here that this has happened. So you can see we had the golden cross here, right here, and shortly we had a pullback afterwards before moving up. Let's go back to another example here. Again, we had a bullish cross here. Again, this time sort of did keep going up, but very slowly. If we go here, the next time, again, we had a pullback pretty much in line with this bullish cross. If we go back to the prior cycle and we go to September 2021, had the bullish cross, and immediately we had a significant drop. And I can go on, but basically what I'm trying to say here is that oftentimes when you see this bullish cross, the opposite may actually occur before it actually carries out the move. Because here's a couple more examples here: bullish cross, pullback, bullish cross, pullback. So that's almost about to print here in the next couple of days, guys. So just be aware of that you could potentially see the opposite move here with the price, Bitcoin price, actually pulling back, and as a result potentially pulling ICP back as well. But just bear that in mind, guys, as you're trading here, because that is about to print here in the next couple of days unless something drastic happens. Okay, so moving on to ICP here. So obviously on the weekly and 2 weekly time frames, nothing much has really changed since my last video. So if you haven't watched that, go ahead and watch it. Basically, we're still holding support here around the 786 Fibonacci level. And we found major support here with some nice bullish long wick candles to the downside, signifying that on the longer term, that upside is actually now quite probable. So if we go down, I'm not going to go over the weekly today because we did cover it a few days ago, but we're going to go down to the 3 time frame, see if we can see anything here. And again, we're potentially forming out this base pattern here. We're in this kind of range here, and have been for quite some time now, whereas we're not really moving anywhere. We're sort of chopping around here. There is no clear direction. Basically, what you're waiting for here is to see a breakout of this level here around that, which is our range high, and also our 618 Fibonacci level, or breaking down and going down further. Obviously, we're looking for this break up here, but again, that has not happened yet. So we're just waiting. We have to just wait and see what's happened. I am currently, nothing really changed since my last video. For me, I'm sort of categorizing ICP as a watch list. I wouldn't recommend buying it right now, but it's one to keep on your watch list, waiting for the actual confirmation, the breakout, so you can jump in with minimal risk. If we move on to our RSI chart here, so the RSI, same thing as what we were talking about the other day. We had this downsloping trend line for a long time. We've broken out of it in the start of this year, and now we've recently retested it, and we're looking to move up. What would flip this into really bullish is if we could see a break above this midline here, but obviously that has not happened yet. But all in all, the RSI is relatively low. It is kind of in that sort of buy zone, like, you know, whenever you see the RSI really low, guys, like this, I would say there's limited downside. And if you look at the chart here, you know, we're at some key support levels here. right? So although it's not really entering it as a sort of buy right now as a trade, you know, it is, I would be expecting a buy signal to flash relatively soon, and of course I'll keep you updated on that. If we go down further, again, RSI still waiting on this breakout from our midline on the 3-day time frame. Nothing much has really changed there. It's still quite neutral right now. On the daily time frame, we have just seen a break back below our midline, which obviously isn't really that good. But the daily time frame does, it does chop around a lot. But basically, on any time frame, whatever time frame you're actually trading on, you don't really want to see the RSI flipping back down below this midline here. So right now, ultimately, ICP is quite neutral in terms of both the price action and the RSI. What we're really the thing that I'm worried about right now is this bullish cross, this golden cross on Bitcoin, because ultimately, as I've just shown you there, quite often when you do get that cross, it can result in a pullback. And if Bitcoin pulls back, you can bet your ass that ICP will probably pull back as well with it, even if that does mean go up afterwards. But basically, for me, if I have an analysis that shows me there's a high probability of a pullback, generally I want to wait for that pullback so I can buy at lower prices, because I'm greedy. I want to get the best price possible, and I sort of recommend most of my viewers do the same. So moving on, finally we've got our EMA chart here, and on the weekly time frame, nothing much has really changed here. We are still holding in this range here, waiting for a breakout of our EMA band. Now, if we can see ICP break above this EMA band on the weekly time frame, that is what would change this. That's what would flip this bullish, because if we look at the prior, basically this entire cycle, what has triggered the big rally every time is when you see on the weekly time frame here with the EMA band, whenever you see the candle on the weekly time frame close above the EMA band, that has set off this rally. If we're looking here in October of 2023, you can see the candle here closed above the EMA band, and that sent off that huge rally. Again, in November 2024, candle closed above and set off that huge rally. There can be fake outs sometimes, so basically that's what we're looking for, and that currently is coming in at around $7, and that's basically what we're looking for. But the early sign that would be happening is if we see a break above $6, which is the immediate resistance that we're watching here. So yeah, firstly we're looking at a break of $6, and then if we can see a break of then $7 sort of 40, then that would open the door to a significant rally. But for the moment, ICP is on a watch list. I don't recommend a buy right now. I recommend having this on your watch list, waiting for the breakout. So I hope you guys got some value from that video today. I'm sorry my voice is dying, but I'm going to leave this video here. If you haven't already, please do consider hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.